Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. Yo! Above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond the illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man. Though my mind could think, I still was a madman. I hear the voices when I'm dreaming. I can hear them say, don't you cry no more. Masquerading as a man with the reason. My charade is the event of the season. And if I claim to be a wise man, it surely means that I don't know. Stormy sea of moving emotion, toss the bottom like a ship on the ocean. I set a course for winds of fortune, but I hear the voices sigh. Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
About the risks of CO2 in the atmosphere. And by the way, it's not really a moral hazard, it's more like free riding on our grandkids. And by the way, it's not really a moral hazard, it's more like free riding on our grandkids.
I will not make any deals with you. I've resigned. I will not be pushed, filed, stamped, indexed, briefed, debriefed, or numbered. My life is my own.
And welcome, guys. Hope you all doing okay. Right, then let's see what's Right. Let me just take it up my ears. I just put those in just to make sure vocals are coming through nicely and all of that. You know what I mean? Because the last thing we want is me sounding like I'm being cut off and all of that. And it guys. So yeah, we're gonna take a little look, guys. And as you can see, I'm still editing something as that was being done. So I got a video lined up ready as well, guys. What's his name again? Larkin Rose, not Larkin Rose. Yeah, we're gonna look at a Larkin Rose video today. So we're gonna do that. Let me just see if that's come through as well quickly before we move on and all of that. And Stead UK. No, we need it called live. You hate that, guys. You type it in and it's not coming in the way you want it. Have you noticed that? It's like, come on, work. And it goes, nah, fuck yourself. And I'm like, no, work. And then you end up having a fight between you and the keyboard. Work. Oh, shit, no more keyboard. Oh, well, time to buy a new one. Keyboard has died. Yeah, because you killed it. Oh. You have killed the keyboard. Okay, so let's have a look here. Let's have a look at the thing before we. You know, the funny thing is, guys, I got my laptop there. I could just hit refresh. Well, blowfish. Anyway, we're going through it now. I mean, on this laptop, I got my two laptops here. You know, the one I'm using right now is actually more powerful than the one there. Because that one I got there, I bought like a while back, and it's okay, but it's not the best. It's far from it. It's not good for live streaming anyway. This one is just barely good for live streaming. I'm using for live streaming. Yeah, I mean, paid about 470 quid for it, and it was 450. Close that down. As you can see, it's still processing up here, and then yeah. Unlike my main rig in storage at the moment, I can't. I mean, I dare not risk bringing that here. You know, because if I gotta move again, yeah, then I gotta put it back in the storage again. There we go. UK is not free under government. Oh, that looking on. Is it looking good? It's looking. Let's see. Let's see. It's taking forever. Fuck that. If I mean, there we go. Let's have a look here. We're gonna hit refresh over here because I want to bring the chat up as well. I want to bring that up, and we then can go from there as well. But yeah, we're gonna look at Larkin Rose. He's put out a new one about an hour ago. I mean, yeah, with 361 views. Yep. And I mean, to let you know, guys, Discord is now open. I've decided, I mean, because when I deleted my last Discord, when I fully deleted, I decided to spend years from opening up another one to the public. You know, I mean, I would hang out in my mate's one, you know, because he's got a Discord as well. He's a live streamer as well up on Twitch, and Gibbon Dragon. He's also got a TikTok account. And but I thought after all the shit I've gone through and all of that, I decided to just keep my Discord for my friends. I mean, I opened up another server just for me and my friends. You know what I mean? And I mean the ones that do gaming and all that. And so we, I mean, would hang out in there and all that. And I think now I felt right on opening up the Discord now for the general public again to come and join in and all of that and so forth. And the thing is, as well, I mean, when I had my Discord before, I did not have, I didn't take the time to learn it. You know, there's so much things going on in local life, in real life, that was life threatening. I didn't take the time to learn how to do things properly in Discord. Well, a week and a half ago, I took the time to. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I knew like one or two things. I mean, about Discord, but not like the way I learned a week and a half ago. It took me a day or two to learn it, and so I went in, set up the Discord I wanted. I accidentally, I mean, did a little glitch with the ticket. I'm gonna put like a ticket system in. I've done a little glitch of that, so I got to redo that. But yeah, it's it's virtually done now. I mean, I would say it's 85% to 90% done. I mean, so hence why there's a QR code on the screen. That's my Discord. And that's my way of saying it's time to build a community. Instead of me going, I'm very, very shy. I'm very shy. Instead of me going, no more. Yeah, I mean, it's like I needed that break away, sort of. I needed that break to myself. The Discord was like my hiding place. You know what I mean? I mean, I would just go into there, do my work. I mean, as well as a way for my friends, just to pop in. You know what I mean? So, because a lot of my friends were like miles away, but if they wanted to, say hi, they could just pop into it and say hi. So you doing okay? And I'd be like, yeah, and I'd be asking them, are you okay as well? And we would go from there. And that's the type of community that me and I mean the other one that is streaming do. We try to build up a friendly atmosphere and all of that, and just have a laugh. I mean, because he's shocked. I mean, he's always said that I should have like loads of people following me now, and this, that, and everything else. I should have. I mean, people coming in every so often, but because what happened in my local life, I couldn't build anything. You know what I mean, it was, and it was life threatening what was happening to me, and so I basically couldn't build anything. I mean, the police were stupid on so many fronts. The courts were flipping retarded. I mean, and everything else. Gwalia, now known as Cordy, was a flipping dickhead. You know what I mean, and and a lot of the locals were cowards. Yeah, a lot of people around my area were cowards. And yet, when I saw an old age person being attacked and all that, I would step up. Despite my disability, I would step up, get in the way, and but did the others help me, to defend against the arseholes of Pontedillas and all that? No, I was basically on my own, taking on fucking over 10 to 20 odd fucking people at a time. Yeah, I mean, nothing new. I used to, as a kid, take on 10, 20 people at a time. Anyway. But anyway. But, yeah, I mean, and the police can see it in my eyes as well. They know it's always going to take a lot more to get me to stand down. You know what I mean? Because like when the neighbors keep asking, why do you always send so many? Because I mean, I in my mind, I'm always saying it takes that many to get me to think, all right, stand down. And if it was just one or two, I'm like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Let's go. But if you're being nice, then I'll stay my respectful self. If you're being a dick, Yeah, I mean, I'll try and stay my respectful self, but you continue to be a dick, I'll tell you you're a fucking dick. As one of the officers found out over Christmas, I mean, like loads of these officers around me and so forth down by Asda, signing. I mean, a lot of them were nice. I mean, we were having a chat and so forth and all of that and everything else. And yeah, I mean, I got arrested. Because I was using freedom of speech and all of that, sort of thing. Plus, I lost my mind a little bit as well. And when one of the officers goes, "Oh, you're arrested for doing this and all of that," and I went, "Are you an idiot? These here are nice, and you're being an idiot." I'm like, and so yeah, I will speak my mind and all that and so forth, and that's one of the reasons why. I mean, I will always say you cannot have government and freedom. You got to choose. You got to choose one. I mean, so we're going to be looking at, as you can see there, partially. I mean, you work out it's something bringing freedom. So that's so I'm going to give you guys full title. That is offering freedom. But so yeah, so I mean, so Disco's ready to go and all that. We got so many idiots. This week, and I've already seen some people already put the votes through, already voted and all of that. By postal vote and all that. So they are happily to voting votes violence. In other words, they happily to vote for violence by the establishment and all of that. Despite they don't realize it's going to come back onto them as well. So these people are idiots. But anyway, let's do this then. Let's get this everything going then, shall we? Right, there we go. Yeah, I've learned to you can tell I've done this over the years. There we go. We're going to now click on the thing. We're going to bring this up a little bit as well. And we're going to go back to this one. Oh, hold on. I'm only going to be doing this on one screen, by the way, guys. I don't know how to do this properly, but theater, bring it across a bit. And the thing is, well, we're not really going to be watching like a movie at all, always. So let me just do this. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's a camera bro. Oh, balls. Yeah, I think that's fine, guys. We reckon that's fine. The only problem we got now is... Right, let's take that out. And if I take Discord out for now... There we go. Let's refresh it because... Alright, let's lower it from 720 down to 360. There we go. Why isn't that coming through? Is it still processing? Have I jumped in and gone, yay? Oh. Well, this is why I like my other computer. This page isn't responding. No shit, Sherlock. Tell me about it. It's not fucking responding. We'll get it to respond now. I mean, we'll get. We're going to go into another browser and we'll do it that way. But I do want to hear what he's got to say. You know what I mean? Oh, pardon me. No, I haven't got that in the background. I mean, I had to check to see if Proton was on in the background as well. Because sometimes that kicks in behind the scenes and then it's like, you cannot do anything right now because we've taken over your computer. Ah. Do you hate that, guys? I mean, alright, let's do this and let's see what the old boy's going to say for himself. I could drop it down because we don't know how he looks like. It's just the message. You know, we're not going to look at any graphical details or anything like that. So we could drop it down to about 100. Quality. Because, you know, I mean, we're going to see like a lot of people, I mean, Friday, they're going to be like voting away, going, yeah, well, voting's my voice. And I'm like, then what the fuck have you been using in all these years if you think voting's your voice? I've got a fucking idea, guys. I got a better idea. Hold on. I've got to talk about this voting thing anyway. You know what I mean? Let's take that away. But yeah, I mean, I feel like dealing with people you know, online and stuff like that, and they're going, but if you don't vote, you don't get change. And I'm like, well, if you lot don't vote, then you don't get the establishment to put violence on us. I mean, we should really be doing physical changing and not putting an X down and, well, expecting Parliament for Wales to be the Senate, but you know, I mean, the final thing, you know, goes through the King and all that anyway for Britain. But I mean, if we don't physically remove all these people that are linked to the PDF networks, right? Then what is the point, right? What is the point of voting? If you're going to keep, you know, because you're thinking, because these idiots are looking at, I mean, and these political parties as all separate. They're going, well, I'll vote for that one. Oh, no, I'm going to vote for this one. This one will bring change. They all are pushing towards the same agenda. There's this picture, right? There's this picture up online, right? Where you have like a divider, right? But as you go through it, it just goes to the same place. Doesn't matter who you vote for, it's just the same outcome. You know what I mean? And this is what we're trying to get through to these fucking retards. You know what I mean? These idiots that are like, well, I'm going to vote for Plaid Cymru. Well, I'm going to vote for the Conservatives. I'm going to vote for the SNP. I'm going to vote for... And I'm like, so you're going to vote for being a twatting? Right, got it. And they're like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, yes, you fucking are. You know what I mean? For one, government steals from you through taxations. You know what I mean? And they're like, no. It goes through the education system and so forth. And I'm like, prove it. Like, wait, what? You're just speaking in assumptions right now. Prove that all the money goes to the education system to the NHS, to this, and to all these other things that you think it goes to all these places because some twat on the TV said so through the news. It must do. I'm like, are you sure? Well, I say it so. Do you? When the last time did you check with all the finances? Did you actually look at the reports? Did you actually look into people that have been whistleblowing into the financial economic system for many years and seeing what the bank cartels are really doing and all of that? No. Then how do you know? Have you been looking into like other things that the bank cartels are linked with? I mean, like the C-19 for one, or the fracking, or to the wars that are going on in the Middle East, where we got to send our Western boys and girls across to be killed for Israel / Zionism? No. So, okay, got it. Right. So you rather just keep voting, bring violence on all of us, and not realizing who's actually in charge of this country then? Yeah, you idiot. And they turn around and they're gonna guess you must be anti-Semitic. No, I'm actually Semitic. You know, I mean, my bloodline is actually Semitic. So how can I be anti myself? Shut up, you. It's funny. It's funny. And the best one is this as well. You know, I mean, when you get to them, I mean, am I anti-Semitic for supporting Gaza? They go, yes. So you know, the people in Gaza are actually Semitic. Oh, you fucking bastard! You did it again, haven't you? How dare you say these things to me? And I'm like, because you need to know, because you're being a twat. Because you know, Jesus won't be coming here going, oh, I'm going to say you what you think you need to know. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you, your own worldview is and all of that. And I mean, and then you be, oh, God, Jesus went along with I've always thought. No. Jesus will come here and he'll be like, you know what? You've been a dick. You've been going on with these flipping governments. You've been going on with these bank cartels. You've been going on with these militaries. You've been letting the police get away with fucking torturing people. You know, you've been letting the flipping Zionists kill children and all of this. And then these people, you know, with their own worldview, are going, la 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 la. And it's like, oh, look, Jesus. You know, these people going, la 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 la, because they pricks. Because they've let the evil ways, these satanic ways, get into their hearts and all that, and Jesus will be going, yep, let's kick some ass in. Let's go and kick some evil ass. You don't forget, Jesus not coming here with, you know, with candy going, oh, well done for for going on with the lies. Here's some candy. No. The sword is, is truth and all that and everything else. And if you can't handle the sword of truth, then you can't handle Jesus. Think about that. If you can't handle the sword of truth, you cannot handle Jesus. You know what I mean? But anyway, and it's just getting brighter. Not because I'm saying the sword of truth and Jesus, though, is it? Sword of truth and Jesus. It's not getting darker. It's slowly getting lighter. Oh well. But anyway, and the thing is, well, you know, I mean, because you know, it's the ones that have gone through hell and back and all of that for just speaking truth, right? Are the ones that get ridiculed by the peers around them, but yet God / Jesus and all of that is going, keep going. You're helping us to weed out. You know, keep going. We know who's listening and who's not. Keep speaking it. That's why I keep speaking it. And I bet the police are going, he's still going on. Yep, he's still going on about this. He's still going on about that. Oh. I mean, and then you have, and there's one or two people in the police, you know, I mean, that are listening going, I fucking agree with him. And then suddenly I was like, wait, what? Nothing. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And the thing is, well, you're not supposed to for tattoos on your skin, by the way, as well. You're supposed to keep everything pure the best you can. You know what I say? Best you can. Because the reason I say best you can, because if you didn't know and all that, and then you go and, like me, I've marked my arms, and if somebody else has put tattoos on and so forth, and you're like, oh, and then you come to know the scripture, bit by bit sort of thing. It's like, oh, right. As long as you then repent and change your ways, you know what I mean? Like, right, okay. I don't have tattoos, I mean, I've marked my arms in other ways, you know what I mean? Once you've learned and so forth, like, oh, okay. And that's only because of the pressure and all that from the fucking authorities and all that. You notice how authorities try to get you to go along with the lies and the deceit and everything else sort of thing. And because you're like, nope, we're not going to go along with that. They're like, we're going to come and arrest you. We want you to go along with lies and deceit, boys and girls. So, right, we're going to grab that video. I downloaded it, guys. I downloaded it. Be fucking quicker. Yeah, you should have, first of all. Shut up. Do your ball swing, Lord. Sorry. I got one of the videos here like, do your ball hang low to the swing to and fro. There you go. I actually posted that on Twitter, and Michelle Obama thing, right? And what it was, right? Window capture now. Oh shit, they're gonna see my porn. Wait, what? Lagib. We're gonna click Lagib. Huh? It did window, innit? Yeah, it did. Yeah, so. I know I did. I closed it. Alright. Okay, yet. So we do that. Now we're gonna. Oh! It's a. Oh, that's good. That's very good. Anyway, that's even better. I'm gonna do this from now on, guys. Videos that I want to watch. Oh, balls. Hold on, I'll put this over here. Makes fucking sense to me. I gotta be honest, it makes sense. You guys got it. That making sense to us. You're confusing us. I know. I like it, I guess, guys. I like confusing people. It's the way I like to do things. Right, now we've got that. And now I can see it there. There you go. We're going to do this from now on. Until I get my dual monitor. Then again, the amount of monitors I've got in storage, I could have like 16 monitors going, guys. Chat, porn, football. No, don't do porn. Stay away from that. But anyway, should we rock and roll?
Lark and Rose here in a snazzy bush. So I've recorded my talk up in Prescott, and here it is. I spend much of my time and energy, and have for 30 years now, advocating for the rest of humanity something far better for them than what they advocate for themselves, which is weird. And I don't just mean that I advocate some system or plan that I think would work better and they advocate some other thing that they would work better. That would just be a difference of prediction and expectation. That would be normal. I'm talking about something way weirder than that. Now, like many in the freedom movement, kind of hate that term, but whatever, I spend lots of time arguing against.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, it shouldn't be called freedom movement. It should be called getting your head out from the fucking brainwashing movement, or stop the brainwashing inside yourself movement, or just like stop the fucking brainwashing. You know what I mean? And then we can focus on freeing ourselves from everything else. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I totally agree with him.
People who advocate that others be taxed and regulated and controlled and restricted and oppressed and abused and so on by government. But today, I just want to focus on the fact that most people also advocate that they themselves be robbed, coerced, subjugated, and mistreated, which is extra weird. If by analogy I said, hey, random person, I don't want you to be robbed. I don't want anyone, let's say, stealing your car today. Now, granted, that's a weird thing to just say to somebody out of the blue, but who would disagree with that? No, someone should steal my car. That's how things are, and that's how things must be, and how they should be. Someone stealing my car is necessary and good for society. Nobody would say that. Bet most of you know where this is going, but if I tell someone, I don't want you to be robbed by government, I don't want you to be taxed for anything, not an income tax, not a property tax, not a sales tax, nothing. Yes, some people would say, well, that would be nice, but that's not going to happen. But a significant number of people will actually argue against it, saying that everyone, including themselves, should be taxed. Some even openly take pride in paying their taxes. You're proud that you got robbed. It's not like you freely chose it. Government threatens to do nasty things to you if you don't pay tribute to the ruling class. I can see cooperating to not have nasty things happen to you, but being proud of getting extorted. And of course, lots of normal people at this point will say, well, if we need a new bridge or we need to maintain the roads, then I think we should chip in for blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's nice. I wasn't saying you shouldn't be allowed to voluntarily contribute to things that you think are good, things you actually want. I want to donate to help the poor or build a library or whatever. Sure, cool, absolutely. Of course you should be allowed to do that. And I wasn't saying people shouldn't get together and pool their resources to accomplish bigger things that benefit the common good and that people want to support. That's not what taxes are. Taxation, by its very nature, means you are coerced into handing over money, and you don't get to decide the amount of it, and you don't get to decide where the money goes. So when I say I don't want you to be taxed, all it means is I don't want you to be forced to pay for things that you don't want to pay for, whatever that may be, warmongering or a welfare state or whatever. So, dear 8 billion or so people that I don't even know, I, Larkin Rose, don't want you to be forced to fund anything that you don't want to fund. I want you to not be robbed at all by anyone, including government. That is what I want for you. Most people don't want that for themselves, which, once again, is really damn weird. I want you to be free. And often the response is, no thanks. Why on earth do people respond like that? I'm going to get to that. First, I'm going to go flying off on this tangent. One dude near the top of my list of people worth admiring is Frederick Douglass, a man who was raised to be the property of others. He lived much of his life as a slave, being constantly told and surrounded by people who really and truly believed that someone else owned him, that his time, his effort, his body, his life were the property of another human being. And while his physical escape from slavery was impressive and brave and admirable, his mental escape, his psychological escape to me was far more impressive. Now, to those of us living here and now, it can be really hard to really relate to that at all, to understand what it was actually like to be a slave. I believe, for example, that most normal people today would assume that, of course, every slave knew that slavery was evil and illegitimate. No, they didn't. And of course every slave would have run away given the chance. No, they wouldn't. Frederick Douglass described how a lot of slaves wouldn't try to run away because they viewed that as stealing themselves from their master, who they viewed as their rightful owner. But how on earth could anybody be brought to a point where they actually believe that, where they actually think that about themselves? In Frederick Douglass's words, quote, "To make a contented slave, it is necessary to make a thoughtless one. It is necessary to darken his moral and mental vision, and as far as possible, to annihilate the power of reason. He must be able to detect no inconsistencies in slavery. He must be made to feel that slavery is right, and he can be brought to that only when he ceases to be a man." End quote. Most people today would hear that and right.
And the thing is as well, I've noticed today, who is the most attacked people? A lot of you are going to go down the road of color. Like blacks, Asians, white, Mexican, or whatever. Right? No, it's men. When you think about it, men are attacked all the time, and so forth. The system is set up in a one sexual way of doing things, which is female. It's all geared towards the female and all that and everything else. And people are dumbed down on so many different levels, and we've given up the physical chains for multitudes of different types of chains. One, it's we become debt slaves. Two, we become thought slaves. Because it's how people just go along whatever. A lot of people just go whatever that the news or the politician says and all that. But anybody who challenge the status quo and all that, the state and all that, those people are put down. And because people have been brainwashed on so many levels to think anybody that criticizes the establishment, the authorities and all that are not caring people, which is actually the opposite. We are trying, like I said to like many people over the years, they say, what's your stance? And my stance is basically get people to think for themselves. And the establishment does not like that. The authorities and all that don't like that. Because so when they say to me, when the authorities and all that say that to me, don't try and change the world. I say, I'm not trying to change the world. I just want people to think for themselves. I don't need to change the world. The earth itself will be here when human beings are gone. So when you say to people, stop trying to change the world and all of that, there's one problem with that. We've already got a group of people that have already changed the world with geoengineering programs, for one, that are spraying the whole world left, right, and center, plus many other things that are going on right now. And so when members of the public, like myself and others, that care, that are concerned to what's really going on, and we are trying to stop, because I'm on YouTube, I can't say the exact word, but when I say it, one but say, you guys can go, oh, I know what he's trying to say here. Well, when you've got a group of people within, political offices, at the banks, up the hierarchy, and a lot more, that are doing gene on a slide towards people and many other things, then, and they are creating circumstances to be seriously slide for a lot of people, right? Then, therefore, it's not people like me that are trying to change the world. We are trying to restore people's rights to the point where we don't need government ever again. It's the authorities, the establishment and all of that are trying to make sure they gave us titles of like public and all of that, to the point they hope that we forget where we come from. By giving us all these titles like, you're unemployed, or you're unemployed, or you must be African, or you must be British, or you must be this, you must be that. Giving all these different titles, and hoping we forget we are energy beings with inside a meat suit. We all are energy beings. We've all got these spirits, these souls not inside us. You know what I mean? And we can talk about spirits and souls on another day. You know, I mean, the differences of them. But the thing is, the establishment is trying to take away our free thinking and all of that. They just see us because they're like, oh, look at us, we got all this money and all this wealth and that. They are trying to be gods with the little g. Remember that. And we see people like Harari and people like that. I mean, that have said, free will, that's over. You know, that video he does. And this is what government is doing as well. People in government is saying, free will, that is over. Just vote for us. Your free will is over. As long as you vote in the choices we give you, we don't care what else you do after that. You know, as long as you keep us in charge, we don't give two fucks about your life. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're on the street dying with last breath, as long as your last pound goes to us, we don't give a shit. That is a true nature of establishment. It's violence right through many different things. But anyway, let's keep rolling.
Rightfully think, yeah, that's horrible and sad and evil to do that to people. But we would never fall for that. Modern man is super duper rational and objective and reasonable and not so easily fooled. We are thinking, enlightened beings now. Yeah, no, not really. We human beings, speaking for the group, still constantly do stupid crap and constantly believe stupid crap. And there are two main reasons why this happened. One, indoctrination, and two, something I call mental inertia. Now, I and many of others have spoken at great length about indoctrination, so I'm not going to cover that in depth today. I will remind people that indoctrination only works if people don't know that it's indoctrination. So if you're saying, I wasn't indoctrinated, I was educated in a good school, a good Western school, built on the old Prussian model. Of course, only a silly conspiracy kook would claim that the basis of the entire Western education system was intentionally designed to destroy free will, quote, so that after pupils are thus schooled, they will be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than as their schoolmasters would have wished, end quote. What crazy kook said that? One of the most vocal proponents of the Prussian system, who described that as the intended purpose of the entire system upon which all Western schooling was built. Oops. Anyway, leaving the discussion of indoctrination for another day, let's jump to the second reason. No, that was Johann Fitch. There's another name in there. There's three names. But the other reason people believe and do stupid crap, mental inertia. Now, by that term, I'm referring to how people mostly just assume that, well, however things are, whatever is normal, whatever's common and familiar, well, that must be legitimate. It must exist for a reason. And often they're not even thinking that at the conscious level. It's just subconscious that how things are must be how things should be, more or less, right? A lot of that just comes from fear of the unknown, something which is way more powerful than most people understand. And it was awesome, Miriam, talking about fear, because that controls people way more than their rational mind usually does. There are countless examples, for example, of people living in literal war zones where bombs are falling on the houses around them and they don't leave because the war zone is what's familiar to them. It's home. Never mind that it's a home that's blowing up, it's still home. It's like the phenomenon of panicked horses that run back into a burning barn, because they associate that place with safety because it's familiar. Now, I have to throw in a slightly amusing example of this. When I was in federal prison for a year for not happily paying tribute to the worst people in the world, that was up in Waymark, Pennsylvania. It's a place surrounded by wooded mountains as far as the eye can see. Now, being in minimum security, there wasn't even a fence around us. That's where they put the non-violent prisoners who aren't a flight risk. We were basically the slave labor that maintained much of the high security real prison up on the hill. And there were guys there with me down in minimum security who had lived in pretty crappy parts of big cities, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and some others, who were none too comfortable being outside at night there, especially when we got word that there was a bear in the area. It's wooded Pennsylvania mountains, of course there are bears. But to some of those guys who had lived most of their lives in neighborhoods 1,000 times more dangerous than those woods, it was scary because it was the unknown. It was the unfamiliar. And to be fair, while I would be perfectly content and at peace strolling the Pennsylvania woods alone at night, including with bears around, if I had to walk around the neighborhood some of these guys grew up in, I would not be comfortable and relaxed. Partly because it's not what I know, but also partly because it's objectively and statistically way more dangerous. And then to throw in a very sad example of people choosing familiar hell over whatever is unfamiliar, there is what's known as battered spouse syndrome. A lot of abused women refuse to leave their abusers, and one of the biggest reasons they give is, where would I go? And what would I do? Who would take care of me? Their central nervous system is so traumatized, they don't know how to function. A familiar situation of nasty abuse still feels safer than some unknown, even when it absolutely isn't. And that brings us back to politics. To most people, not being robbed by government, not being bossed around and controlled by crooked politicians is the scary unknown. Given a choice between door number one, a known quality, a familiar injustice, and door number two, a world without ruling classes, most people will instinctively choose to be abused. Of all those people, like I was talking about to begin with, who would say, well, they should be taxed, a grand total of 0 of them say that as a result of carefully and logically thinking things out. They all glance at mysterious door number 2, and their imagination runs wild with what might be behind it. Mad Max, every man for himself. We're killing and eating each other.
Think about this, guys. Think about this. I mean, think how much money that's gone wasteful, right, by governments. Think how much money that has gone wasteful because the politicians in the UK are going on with Israel and other things, right? And also you got the Masons and all that. And I mean, you got some corrupt Masons on a. I mean, when you get past a certain level, you got like that percentage of Masons that are absolutely, despicable. And we have seen countless of millions to billions to trillions pounds worth of money and all of that for walkies. So think of that money, right? If it wasn't sent to government, and if it wasn't, and the local council near me, Swansea Council, they waste money because they're told if you don't waste that money, you're not going to get more money sent to you. So they waste it, try and spend it all. And so when you've got that ideology, that way of thinking, that system way of thinking to waste, then what's the point of having a government and councils anyway? You know what I mean? Despite its form of slavery anyway. So wouldn't it be better to get rid of that? And then have a system where you put in, say you don't spend all the money, in year one, but you put it to one side. Then you put it aside again the following year. and say you're only putting away like 25 grand, you know what I mean, aside every year. But in 4 years, you got 100 grand, right? And then that money can be, you know, what I mean, paid for. Sorry, that money can be used to build a flat, something you're gonna live in, or it can be spent on, I mean, to help out with the, you know, I mean, paying towards school dinners or something. You know what I mean, just an example. You know what I mean, I know you need a bit more than that, but just an example. You know what I mean, but governments and corporations, not corporations, but governments and council, I don't know, but despite government is a corporation, they don't think like that, do they? They just waste it and just throw it out on them. I mean, and you're honest with yourself as well, right? Every time something needs to be done for the public, you know, like homes, education, medical treatment, or whatever, there isn't money there. But when there's a ritual of blood to be done for the arms dealers, there's money there. Think about that. We have a system, government system, a authority system of death. And we're seeing that the way the authorities from the UK and all of that. You know, I mean, I see it in the US of A, and I see it in Australia. I see it all over the place. But I'm just focusing on the UK right now. And there's a ritual cult in the UK amongst the politicians, amongst the royal family, and so on, amongst the royals and all of that, where they're like, oh, I got these many medals and all of that. I got many. While we see a lot of the people that went into the military, you know, and the young and all that, and so forth, right, that have been blown to bits left, right, and center. And don't forget, right, the gaslighting they use. Oh, they went and fought for you. Well, in the World War, I wasn't born, so that's a lie right there. But they fought for your freedom today. Well, if you mean that, well, I'm free to be enslaved to the banks and all of that, then yeah, well done. And because a lot of people through ignorance thought they were going to, fight and bring about freedoms and all, when really they were part. The World Wars 1 and 2 were no more than a ritual killing for the elites, sacrificed many bloods, many people's blood and all that. Because nobody on a public level won. You know what I mean? Nobody won on a public level. The banks won, yeah. The corporations won, the arms dealers and all that. But we the people, the public, never won. We got to be honest with ourselves. You know what I mean? And a lot of military folk, you know what I mean, are waking up to that. And there's a lot of military folk going, hey, don't join the military. You know what I mean? There'd be like a few that might be going along with the system, the establishment and all that. But those that are honest with themselves and truthful with themselves, hey, don't join the military. Don't do the shit that I did. Don't do the honest crap that I did. No, there are military folks saying that out there because cause they end up with PTSD and other things. Their limbs blown off, and they see their friends getting absolutely, male and female friends getting absolutely decimated and to the point of death, sort of thing. So that's why they're speaking out and saying, "Hey, you know what I mean." So when you got the public like mindfully going, "Oh, thank you for your service," you know what I mean. If I was one of those people and I saw, a man getting blown to bits now, and I got some clown come up to me and going, "Thank you for the service," and I'd be going, "Yeah, but you're not trying to stop the fuckers of sending us there." Yeah, I mean the politicians and all of that and so forth that are doing deals with Israel and all of that to go and lie to the world, and then. But anyway, I mean, so if you want to really call, say the type of freedom we've got, I mean, if you want to call being under a government freedom, the politicians are saying you're free to go and get yourself killed within the military for our needs. You know what I mean? And the thing is, if I said to you and all about, hey, can you go to another country and go and get the resources of that country for this country, will you? You tell me to fuck off, do it yourself. You know what I mean? And yet, the spell of a politician, the master of lying, you know what I mean? That's the job title, that Paul Lie. But anyway, let's keep going.
Anarchy. So they decide just on a gut level who would say, well, they should be taxed. A grand total of 0 of them say that as a result of carefully and logically thinking things out. They all glance at mysterious door number 2, and their imagination runs wild with what might be behind it. Mad Max, every man for himself. We're killing and eating each other. Anarchy. So they decide, just on a gut level, often subconsciously, that the subjugation they know feels safer and more predictable than the freedom that they've never known. And that is why when I and others, like lots of you, offer the idea of freedom to the rest of the world, a lot of the world doesn't want it. Because they fear the unknown more than they fear the institution that has literally committed more fraud, extortion, assault, terrorism, and murder than everything else in the history of the world combined, namely government. That is how powerful fear of the unknown can be. And those of us trying to offer the idea of freedom to others need to be aware of that, both to know what we're up against and to have a better idea of how to approach it. By the way, I've long said that a lot of people, regardless of logic and principles and morality and all that, won't ever dare to consider living as free human beings unless and until they can see with their own eyes others doing that and not killing and eating each other. That is why I think that what Derek and Miriam are doing has such value, showing people how to have community, how to be productive, how to take care of each other, how to live peacefully without begging that big authoritarian parasite known as government to get involved, is exactly what a lot of people still need to see. No, the world is not better with you being forcibly robbed and controlled by political psychopaths, and it's kind of bonkers that anybody would think otherwise. But lots of people still assume on an instinctive level that continuing to tolerate familiar evil is less of a risk than taking our chances with door number 2, an actually free society. When chattel slavery was ended in this country and turned into a different kind of slavery, a lot of former slaves were terrified. They weren't rejoicing, they weren't partying. They were saying, where will I go? Where will I live? How will I survive? And that's just a more extreme example of the same psychology we're up against today. Well, sure, the politicians are all lying crooks. They rob the hell out of the rest of us. They constantly commit mass murder with their warmongering and interfere with almost every aspect of everybody's lives, not to mention personally committing all sorts of absolutely heinous crimes themselves. But I don't know what's behind door number 2, so we'd better just stick with this. Weirdly enough, the idea of not having a giant, violent political master to bow to is a big, scary unknown for most people. Now, moving beyond just the taxation example to the bigger issue, a very common belief among the majority of people, Americans and the rest of the people of the whole planet, is, if not for the law, we'd all be violent animals. Now, I would agree it's nice if we're not robbing and attacking each other, but what's this law thing you speak of? Because what the term actually refers to is whatever random, arbitrary, authoritarian garbage the politicians decide to inflict on us on any given day. But most people's minds will quickly go, okay, yeah, there's corruption and stuff, and some laws are stupid. and whatever. But we still need laws against murder and assault and theft and fraud. Really? Why? Yeah, those things are bad. People shouldn't do them. But why exactly do we need politicians doing weird legislative rituals and writing stuff down and calling it law? Would murder not be bad without legislation saying that it is? And if someone tried to assault you or someone you know and there was no law about it, would you just not resist? Would everyone just be okay with that? And no one would do anything about it because, hey, there aren't any politician scribbles forbidding it, so I guess this is life now. Are we really incapable of defending ourselves and each other without politicians telling us what we're allowed to do? Politicians, the worst people in the world, we have to look to them for our moral code? Holy crap! But the more ridiculous part is the other 99% of laws which have nothing to do with protecting people, nothing to do with stopping actual aggressors, thugs and thieves. In fact, most laws just legalize state enforcers being the thugs and the thieves. Have the wrong amount of window tint on your car? Our armed thugs will steal some money from you in the name of the law. Smoke a joint instead of having a beer? In some jurisdictions, state thugs will still kidnap and cage you for that in the name of the law. Fail to fund government indoctrination camps that you don't like and don't use anyway? State thugs will eventually show up to steal your home from you in the name of the law. But when it's called law, a lot of people suddenly imagine it to be legitimate. That's where the indoctrination comes in. And they'll think that even when they don't like it, lots of people often take pride in obeying political commands that they disagree with. Well, I don't like this or that law, but as long as it's the law, of course I should obey it. I'm a law.
Yeah, I disagree with those people that say, that they are law abiding. Because no matter what you do during the day, you're breaking some kind of law anyway. Even the police themselves are breaking the law. All of them are. So, because governments have created legislations to make money. So they will always think of way to create crimes and punishments to go with those crimes. But it doesn't make it just on what they're doing. It doesn't make it honest. It doesn't make it right. That's the key word there, right. They just going along and saying that you must go along this law and all that. And if you flip the word round, law, whatever word, if you put it in a mirror, you get wall, WAL. And governments are there happily creating walls on the public and all that, trying to stop us from becoming truly free. And stopping us from ever doing the right thing. And as we know, those who have actually done the research and all that, and checked things out, that the political elite and all families and all of them, and the Vatican and all of that, are all deliberately trying to get after the souls. Yeah, the souls. When she looked into, it doesn't matter if you're into it or not, but that's what they are doing. They trying to corrupt the souls, and hence the reason why the Zionists and all of them, and governments and all of that, went along and creating pornography and everything else to corrupt the mind and corrupt so many other areas of life. So then they can then make it look like, hey, we got the solution for all of this stuff. And really, they are the purveyors, the pushers of everything that we see that is corrupt there today. It is because of the establishment. It is because of those that go to the lodges and all that. That are part of the upper echelons of the Freemasons and everything else, and also different other type networks, from west to east and all that and so forth. And they are linked to many other areas of life that are all about keeping the public no more than cattle to be slaughtered and to be sent to wars any time. And this is why they create systems of scarcity to keep the fear there, instead of people looking at systems of abundance. Because there's loads of, it's thousands and millions of systems of abundance. I mean, you're going to look at people outside of the political circle and all that and so forth. Politics isn't life. Politics is a barrier, a gatekeeper to what life really is. Politics is not life. It's a psychopath towards life. Politics is a bastard child to what life is. You know what I mean? It's nice that we got politics there and so forth, because now, as many of us are pulling ourselves away from that way of thinking, from the way the systems of the political and all that, we are now appreciating life on a better level. What life truly is. And it isn't voting some dumb cunt to rule over you. That's not life. That's handing someone's will over yours. Slavery. But anyway, I mean, and there are people out there that are telling you what plants are out there that can give abundance of food and all that and everything else. But we need to stop listening to the politicians. We got to start moving away from supermarket chemical food supply and go back to the way of the natural. Because if you look at nature, it gives the abundance freely. Think about it. And it teaches us lessons as well on how to grow. I mean, if you don't grow it properly and you let, let's say, the harshness of winters with some of the crops take hold, you're not going to eat. So it teaches you to prepare this, that, and everything else. But what do politicians teach? And how to be a lying piece of shit and steal from others? Learn from nature or learn from a politician? I'd rather learn from nature, you know what I mean? While being aware that the politicians are are out there ready to steal, lie, and sentence you to jail time for speaking the truth. Anyway.
Abiding taxpayer. This is a very common and cage you for that. In the name of the law. Fail to fund government indoctrination camps that you don't like and don't use anyway? State thugs will eventually show up to steal your home from you in the name of the law. But when it's called law, a lot of people suddenly imagine it to be legitimate. That's where the indoctrination comes in. And they'll think that even when they don't like it, lots of people often take pride in obeying political commands that they disagree with. Well, I don't like this or that law, but as long as it's the law, of course I should obey it. I'm a law-abiding taxpayer. This is a very common sentiment. But actually take a close look at that. That's people proudly declaring that they should be forced to obey even stupid, destructive, and immoral laws. So on their own, they would have chosen to do A, would have thought that's the best choice, so that's what I'm going to do. But the politicians came along and said, no, you have to do B. This other thing you don't think is the best choice, we, the politicians and our enforcers, will make you do this one. To be proud of being law-abiding is literally to be proud that you are coerced by government into making worse decisions. Decisions you wouldn't have made if you were relying on your own conscience and judgment. I do what the massa tells me, and that makes me good. No, it doesn't. It's literally being proud to be treated like a slave. Literally. If anyone here has not yet seen the movie Jones Plantation, I Highly recommend it. Somebody has. And I'm not at all biased. And that brings us full circle. Imagine flying back in time and meeting a literal chattel slave who really and truly thought that he was the rightful property of his master, like Frederick Douglass described. Imagine trying to offer him freedom. Hey, I can get you out of here and help you escape to freedom. And he responds with, no, I would never rob the master like that. That is what we are up against. We are up against deep indoctrination and fear of the unknown, and mere logic and reason don't fix that. What does is unindoctrination and deprogramming, and helping people get over their fear of being free human beings. And doing that requires a certain understanding of psychology. It requires a certain set of communication skills. And maybe most importantly, it requires a certain level of empathy and compassion and patience, so that we want freedom, not just for ourselves, but for everyone, even for the people who don't yet want it for themselves. Yeehaw! In other news, in the middle of July, we are for the first time putting on our own event and doing it the way we want to do it. It will be called Approaching Humanity and will double as a book release party for my book, Approaching Humanity. What a coincidence. So that'll be an all-day thing. I'm going to tell you nothing more about it right now. Neener, but you'll hear plenty about it in the future. Middle of July. Mark your calendars. Hey, Lark.
There you go. We'll take that away now, guys. And yeah, wasn't that fun, guys? Yeah, I mean, going through all of that. Yeah, I mean, some of you, I mean, if you're still a status inside going, no, nah. Well, you know, those who were like, okay, I see where he's coming from. But anyway, I'm sitting there, and you probably saw me writing and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just jotting some ideas down. Because what gets people more than anything, I mean, to switch off and all that, I mean, they probably think, where's food going to come from? Where's that going to come from and all that? So I think one of the things we've got to do is create lists. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, I mean, like lists on what foods to get that create abundance, let's say, you know what I mean? And also, other, hold on, guys, a word I was trying to think earlier. It just popped into my mind as I was speaking. You notice that you could be like talk about something else, and then boom, the thing you were thinking about earlier, and it pops into your head, and you know what I mean, and it's like, oh, that's what I wanted, right? Thank you. And earlier you're like, nah, I mean, that word would not come, and now it's popped in. Good, I've written it down now. So, because it's a word of clothing. I mean, which will help with the abundance side. You know, I mean, with oils, you know, jeans and other things. I mean, that we can use. Move away from this chemical-based clothing system we've got. It could be no jeans and all of that. I've got benzene and all of that, which causes ill health in people and all of that. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of people still out there that don't realize that right now. I mean, how much chemicals there is in the clothing that causes ill health, as well in the food supply. There's a lot of chemicals that causes ill health, and they don't realize they can go down the kosher. I mean, and all of that. So it's down to education and all of that, and how to make things better for us as humans, and also animals. I mean, look at some of the chemicals now they put in with the animal products and all that. You know what I mean, so it's basically down on us. I mean, and when you look at the Jewish communities that go around getting kosher phones, kosher food, kosher this, kosher that, and then I mean, and then the rest of us are dealing with like phones like these and all of that are spying on us and this, that, and everything else. But they've got the options to turn the spying off. Think about that. Me, I just do this. Oh, I won't do it now. I just unplug. I mean, so they're like, "Wake up!" Oh, you bugger. You know what I mean? And then I just take that upstairs. I mean, if I don't want to be spied upon. Anyway, but the thing is, a lot of people don't realize you can get kosher phones and all that other stuff. And at the end of the day, I mean, like I've always said, if you don't really want to be, I mean, be part of yourself getting spied upon, then don't have the equipment in the home in the first place. Despite you're going to be spied upon anyway, because you got all the monkeys around you, with their phones and all that, and they don't realize, right? This is what they don't realize. Now, I start who've researched this. They don't realize, and there's such a credit system. People with their mobile phones out that and so forth. That camera, guys, the camera on the back be pointing at the people, and if you said something, right? I mean, say you speaking to your friends outside and all of that, and that microphone picks up that you saying something about the authorities or the establishment or whatever, and that'll go back straight to the the servers, the establishment and all of that, and then you'll be kicked out. So in other words, say if your child says anything, right, goes against the establishment, then that's the whole family fucked over. Think about that. The whole family, the dad or mum out of a job, no money coming in, all on the streets. Because the child didn't know better. Or, I mean, a granny, say, I mean, that's losing a marble, says something, but the system in place under such a credit system that they are bringing into the UK, which is already in China, she says something and all that, and then the whole family who associates with her loses everything. They lose their home, they lose food. I mean, and that's where we're going. And yet people are going, I will vote for government. And yet you're voting to lose everything. You're going to lose everything. And you're going to make people around you lose everything. So the people like myself and all that knows what's coming and all that, get to know us. Learn of what's coming down the track, because we see what's coming down the thing. Do you see me go, ah! Apart from that, right? you see me going, oh! Do you see me go outside running around and all of that? You know what I mean? Knocking on doors. Oh, come on. No. I'm like, yeah, this is going to happen if we let it. It's being rolled out right now. But, like I said, I'm looking into things that create abundance. You know what I mean? We know there are natural plants out there that create abundance. You know what I mean? My neighbor next door knows how to cut potatoes in 4 quarters and then grow more. There are people like us out there. I mean, come and speak to people like us. I mean, we will teach. We've got the knowledge. Because things are getting worse and worse and worse. And now people like myself and I are stepping up more and more and more. Which the police don't like, by the way. Just saying. And the establishment don't like it. And the courts don't like it. But we are stepping up more and more and more because it's time. You know what I mean? For us to step up now, over the last 10, 20 years, we've had to gather the knowledge first. Now it's time to speak it. It's now time to, you know what I mean? Well, police, the authorities, you know, I mean, people around running around with their heads cut off. Guys, I got no money in the bank, right? I'm looking at eviction and all that and so forth, but yet, look at calm, man. To tell you, I give you a reason why I'm calm. I believe in Jesus. I believe in the divine. I believe in the next plane, and I've seen beyond as well. You know what I mean? This body. You know what I mean, when it had the rubber cord around the neck, and the body was like, "Ah." You know what I mean? And my mum said, "You died." The body, at one point, it had no breath in it, and then it came, and then suddenly there was breath back in the body again. This body, it's already went through trauma, and it triggered. I've always seen life differently. I've always seen, governments is not for me. Councils is not for me. Court system is corrupt. It's run by, well, evil. You know I mean, the whole thing is, you know what I mean, you got evil ruling this world. It's down to us, end of the day. And have you noticed, those who only are, you know what I mean, protecting their jobs, they come up to you and they say, "Oh, we don't like the way you're speaking, your ideology. I don't like the way it is." No, what they're saying is, "I want to keep my paycheck," despite they're going to lose their job anyway. You know what I mean? They still come up to you and say, "Oh, but I don't like the way you're speaking." You know, like a snake. Hi, I don't like the way you're speaking. Well, why did I almost sound like Alistair from Supernatural? But I thought that was like, wow. Wow. But anyway, brilliant actor, by the way. You know what I mean? I gotta say. You know what I mean? But anyway, so, but yeah, it's one of those things. It's we got too many snakes, too many vipers, too many vespers, and all of that, and so forth within the system and all that. You know what I mean? And there's many types of systems and so forth. But if you speak out and all that, who comes knocking the door? We can't call them pandas anymore, you know, because the cars are not the black and white no more. But as somebody I used to know in Pondelas, because sherbet was like a yellow and red and yellow and blue, you know, packets, he called them sherbets, and I burst up laughing when he said, "Oh, the sherbet brigade's been today," and I went, "Wait, what?" Because I got what he meant straight away. I'm like, got it right. And yet, because they've changed colours from black and white to blue and yellow, I mean, and also the yellow is also another way of saying the country's in emergency and all that. Yeah, I know. And then I had somebody else in that said to me, "You know about the yellow?" And I was like, "Is he going to say it?" And he goes, "Yeah, that is, you know, from the military perspective, it's like the country's in a state of emergency and stuff like that." And I went, "Okay." I didn't say any, but I just said, "Let him carry on." You know what I mean? But anyway, and 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 that blue line that they have across on the badge and all that, you know, what I mean, that's the authority saying public, them versus us. In other words, the authorities and all of that, it's them against us. In other words, authorities against the public. And and we need to stop going down this road of division. Then again, good versus evil type thing, isn't it? But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna go off now and continue. Yeah, I mean, let me just do dead UK info. I think that's coming through on the screen. Is that coming on the screen for you guys? No, right. Let me just go to there you go. Like yeah, I mean, I'm creating like tables, you know, or you could say lists. You know what I mean, and all that. And it's not the extensive stuff that I've looked into. You know what I mean, because the original website actually got deleted. Not by me, mind you, but it got absolutely taken away because a controlled opposition being got into my banks and all that and took away the money. So when the company came for the money and all that, it wasn't there, and they took away the site. And I've been trying to get money to get the site back and all that. So and it was called warriorwales.com, by the way. But anyway, but what I might do, when I bring the site back, I'm not going to use the English words. You know what I mean? I'm going to go back to the roots of this land and go back to and I'm going to name it what it should have been called first of all. I mean, so a blessing in, I mean, what was it? Disguise? Yeah, yeah. Blessing in disguise. Then I mean, I can now name it what it should have been named because I wasn't too sure. But maybe me call it Warrior Wales, and now I can use the actual word what it should have been called. It's a good thing because if it's going to be taken down, going into the next stage of the war that we're all in, there may be the divine news something that I didn't. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so these are the lists and all of that and so forth. Yes, and I'm actually wrote down yesterday as well. It's on the back of here. The back of here is not really near somewhere. Yeah, top 10 plants. You know what I mean? Like the hazelnut, the Nanking cherry, and stuff like that. I was looking into, but I've forgotten some of them. So I started going back in, refreshing it. Nothing wrong in refreshing, guys. You know, you may think yourself, right? I know it, and you just carry on, and then you think yourself, oh, then how would I grow this again? You know what I mean? If you've, it's always good to keep refreshing the knowledge and all that as well. So, but anyway, on that note, guys, I'm going to shoot off and everything. I'm going to go and chill for a bit. You know what I mean? By researching. And also, there'll be a certain person that will be attacking me, you know what I mean, on WhatsApp and all that. They keep attacking me, and then I go and defend myself, and then they go, "You're a wicked person." And I'm like, "Well, for defending myself?" No, you know what I mean. I'm like, oh, "Okay, fair enough." And it's fun, guys. It is fun. You know what I mean, they're not a bad person. They're just misguided and all that. So I don't mind them on my WhatsApp, but they're just misguided on so many levels. You know what I mean? And because I'm so grounded and so many things now and all that, you know what I mean, and the thing as well, the authorities are like a bastard child on so many things. You know what I mean, their egos are in the way and all that. And they're like, "You must obey us," and I'm like, okay. You know what I mean, and I won't say this yet, because I mean, a wise person don't say the next move. But you guys take care, have a good one, and just remember, the authorities. I mean, they will always talk to you with.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Yeah, with bullshit. They will always talk with a bullshit. And the government will always sort of like, I mean, come across like, oh, we're good people, but it's time we got together, guys. It's time we come as one under the divine, because it's. And on that note, time to go.